News Central now at this hour begins with infrastructure matters, where Minister of Works David Umahi says he's ready to face the House of Representatives probe over the controversy surrounding the 15 trillion naira Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway road project. Now, according to the minister, he plans to ensure the exercise is televised live for all Nigerians to see. The minister is also stressed that there is nothing to hide about the project, adding that he and the Ministry of Works follow due process and obtain the necessary approvals and documentation for the project to commence. He also said the claim that the loan obtained to complete the project did not follow due process is untrue. Staying with infrastructure, the Lagos State government has announced a traffic diversion plan along Adeniji through Falomo, including Bodilon and Queen's Drive on the Lagos Island. According to a statement from the Commissioner of Transportation, Oluwaseun Oshiemi, the diversion aims to facilitate the repair of deteriorated asphaltic sections of the road. The repair work is scheduled to begin on Monday, May 13, 2024, and is expected to last until November 7, 2024. According to Oshiemi, to mitigate the traffic implications, the repair works will be conducted in phases. Phase 1 will focus on the stretch from Glover Road Junction on Alfred Rwani Road to Falomo Roundabout, starting from Monday, 13th May 2024. During this phase, the portion of the road from Glover Junction to Falomo Roundabout will be closed to traffic. Away from that, the Nigerian government says the Kano-Daura rail project will be completed by 2025. Minister of Transportation Said Al-Kali, who gave the assurance on Friday in Abuja, said the project is one of the priority projects of the ministry to be actualized at the stipulated time. He said the project, when completed, will enable the transportation of raw materials over long distances and moving passengers and freight. The minister added that the project would also add value in terms of development in the area.
Trying to link the narrow gauge from Lagos to Kano-Daura port to put it for freight so that we save our roads, we reduce the menace of road traffic accident, and by that it will boost the GDP growth of the entire country. I came through Kano to inspect Kano-Maradi project to route Dambata to Daura, not Daura, from Dambata to Kazaure, and it's going well. From the assessments with the last visit I have done, the contractor has done well, and by the grace of God, we are going to put Kano to Kazaure segment by next year, and Kazaure to Daura, and Duze to Kazaure, and eventually to Daura by 2026.
Away from that, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has come up hard against foreign missions based in Nigeria, banning them from transacting in foreign currencies and mandating the use of naira in their financial businesses. The EFCC has also mandated Nigerian foreign missions domiciled abroad to accept naira in their financial businesses. The move, the EFCC noted, is to tackle the dollarization of the Nigerian economy and the degradation of the naira. The Anti-Graft Commission is an advisory to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tugar, expressed reservations and displeasure regarding the unhealthy practice by some foreign missions to invoice consular services to Nigerians and other foreign nationals in the country in United States dollars. Now, the EFCC cited Section 20, subsection 1 of the Central Bank of Nigeria Act 2007, which makes currencies issued by the Apex Bank the only legal tender in Nigeria. And now to the court. A federal high court sitting in Abuja, Nigeria's capital, has rejected the request by the immediate past governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, to halt trial in the hearing of the 80.2 billion naira fraud charges brought against him. Bello asked the court to stay execution in his trial before Justice Emeka Nwite on the grounds that there is an appeal filed by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission before the Court of Appeal against the contempt application filed by the defendants against the EFCC chairman, Ola Olukoede. Justice Nwite, in his ruling on Friday, however, rejected the application made by Bello through his lawyer Abdul Wahab Muhammad. He held that Bello was trying to make rubbish out of a criminal case by choosing to stay in his house and not respect the court orders. Let's stay with the courts, but this time in Edo State, where the state governor, Godwin Obaseki, has refuted rumors of a court case against the Oba of Benin, Omo Noba Nyedo Uku Okpolopolo, Oba Ewore II. Now, he called the rumors fake news spread by enemies of the state. Obaseki clarified that the state government is actually a defendant in the ongoing case, not the plaintiff. This means the government is being sued and not the other way around. He emphasized the state maintains a good relationship with the royal palace. The lawsuit stems from the suspension of two dukes, Professor Gregory Akenzwa and Edomwoni Agyegbang, by the Oba. They argue that governor, not the Oba, has the authority to remove them from office. Earlier, former Commissioner of Information in Edo State, Andrew Mwanta, spoke to us on this development.
As it is properly said, you have two kingdoms in the world. You have the United Kingdom and the Benin Kingdom. The Benin people, of whom I'm part of, regard our Oba as somebody who has a divine right, and I think it flows from the divine rights theory proposed by Henry VIII, the King of England. And as such, as Benin's, we owe the Oba our allegiance. His dukes are his subjects, and he has the power to appoint them. And I think the conundrum is that the Edo State government wants to engage the Oba, the palace of the Oba of Benin, as it relates to the suspension order the Oba placed on two of his dukes, who the Oba, in his wisdom, thought were challenging his authority. Because some time ago, I think that was last year, the Edo State government came up with a policy to balkanize the kingdom by reducing the Oba's power as the chairman of the Benin Traditional Council, by allowing the dukes who are his subjects to now head their various domains under the various and the local governments we have in Edo South. And of course, we know that that was a political move, being the fallout of the artifact issue, because the federal government said it is the Oba of Benin that has right over the custody of the artifacts. And of course, the Edo State government did not find that palatable. And as a fallout, he needed to engage the palace by reducing the powers of the Oba of Benin. And he came up with a policy under the Edo States, the defunct Benin State Traditional Rulers and Chiefs Law. So for us, we find that very distasteful that the Edo State government will sponsor, these same two dukes that were suspended by the Oba, through litigation in court.
News Central now returns after the break. Do stay. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Nigeria's House of Representatives has called on state governments to implement the provisions of the Constitution that mandates them to upgrade correctional centers in their state to meet modern standards in order to forestall jailbreaks in the country. The chairman of the House Committee on Reformatory Institutions made the call as the committee visited the Suleja Correctional Center to inspect the damage caused by the rain that led to the escape of many inmates from the facility, urging them to ensure necessary provisions for the inmates in the facility. He also called for the recruitment of more personnel so as to strengthen security agencies that manage the centers, saying that the House will work towards increasing their budgetary allocation to enhance the welfare of inmates and officers.
As amended in 1999 Constitution, that you have already shifted from exclusive to concurrent, that all the governors of the 36 states implement that law by building correction service and making sure they provide for the inmates. The little token that are used to feed inmates is not enough. The budget of the correction service cannot do anything. They need more money to take care of the security. Could you imagine 400 and something inmates are being taken care of by 5 armed men? Can it work? And these 5 armed men cannot be at duty at the same time. They need more power. we are urging Mr. President to approve for recruitment of more manpower to the correction service.
To politics now. The All Progressives Congress has condemned the recent statements credited to the governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, over his claim that the State House of Assembly exists at his discretion. The National Publicity Secretary of the party says that the statement is reckless and an affront on the nation's constitution. News Central's Joshua Imarai completes the report.
Statement from the Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara, while expressing his displeasure at a faction of the State Assembly loyal to the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike.
Those group of men who claim that are Assembly members are not Assembly members. They are not existing. I think it's according to a time when I need to make a statement on this thing, so that they understand that they are not existing. Their existence is me allowing them to exist. If I de-recognize them, they are nowhere.
The comments have evoked controversies, the latest being a reaction from the All Progressive Congress, emphasizing that the governor's action is a direct affront to the constitution of the country and a threat to democracy.
Governor Fubara's declaration that the Rivers State House of Assembly does not exist is not only reckless, it is a direct affront to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The House of Assembly is a creation of the Constitution and vested with the legislative authority of the state.
The APC is emphasizing that the 27 House of Assembly members who defected from the PDP to the APC remain constitutionally recognized members of the Rivers State House of Assembly. They say only a court of law can determine their status.
Only a properly constituted court of law can make a determination as to whether a member of the House of Assembly has vacated his seat in accordance with that provision of the Constitution. As no such judicial determination has been made, the 27 APC members of the House of Assembly remain the constitutionally recognized and authorized members of the Rivers State House of Assembly.
The National Publicity Secretary of the APC is calling on the governor to submit himself to the dictates of the Constitution and the rule of law, warning that his actions are an impeachable offense. In Abuja for News Central, I am Joshua Imarai.
The Rivers State High Court in Port Harcourt has granted an interim injunction restraining pro-Wike Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Martin Amaule, and 24 other members from parading themselves as legislators. The court's directive prohibits them from convening or participating in any official meetings at the Assembly premises. The decision stems from an ex parte order filed against the pro-Wike lawmakers by pro-Siminalayi Fubara Speaker Victor Okojumbo and three others. Now, the interim injunction declares the seat of the 1st to 25th defendants vacant pending further legal proceedings. The court also issued a restraining order prohibiting Governor Siminalayi Fubara and the Chief Judge, who are 26th and 28th defendants in the suit, from engaging with Amaule and his 25 loyalists. Earlier, political commentator Godswill Jumbo spoke to us on this development.
First of all, let me clear the air about the position of the APC through its spokesperson. The Constitution in Section 109, subsection G, is clear about the position of an elected official in whatever capacity, and that if you're sponsored to a position and you defect, you lose that position because the party that sponsored you, you have moved from that party to another party. And that section of the Constitution did not say this will be subject to a court of law saying or not saying. It is deemed to be automatic. But then it is also fine that eventually Governor Siminalayi and maybe the current Speaker of the House of Assembly thought it wise that since these guys are not being, maybe they're not thinking in the direction of being honorable to vacate their seats, having become from the party that sponsored them to the position. They are still hanging around and trying to make it look like they are actually lawmakers. They now sought the discretion of the courts to now look at the issues and be able to take a position. I think it's a welcome development. So for me, in the midst of all of this, I think it's something I find quite interesting. I find it as a welcome development that the Speaker, Right Honorable Victor Okojumbo, and his colleagues have gone to court now to ask the court to determine what is the position of the issues around Martin Amewule and his co-travelers, you know, and also I think it is a fine one so that the whole drama that could tend to violence could also be checkmated, because, you know, these things can actually spiral out of control with emotions running very high.
In the late 1980s, AT&P in Sapele Delta Glass Factory, Ughelli, Asaba Textile Mills, and among other indigenous companies in the defunct Bendel State and present-day Delta State, provided employment opportunities for young Nigerians. Today, the story is different, with several unemployed youths nationwide. Governor Sheriff Oborewari hopes to return Delta State's economy to the good old days, where these moribund companies can be revived to provide employment opportunities for young people in Delta and beyond. News Central's Austin Azu completes the report.
It's another batch of swearing in and inauguration of chairmen and members of boards, agencies, parastatals and MDAs by the Delta State Governor Sheriff Oborewari at the Government House, Asaba, the state capital. The boards of the Delta State Investment Development Agency and the Delta State Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency, among others, were inaugurated.
That as Auditor General Local Government in the government of Delta State, I will discharge my duty to the best of my ability, faithful, and in accordance with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Worried by the prevalent unemployment challenges across the country, Governor Oborewari recalled the good old days when the AT&P Sapele Delta Glass Factory Ughelli, Asaba Textile Mills, Delta Steel Company Alaja, among others, were the major growth drivers and employers of labor. The governor charged the boards to draw up a functional template that would attract credible investment to the state.
It's time today. The organized private sector in the state is weak and undeveloped, and is counting for only 9% of GDP as at 2022. I'm counting on the new leadership of DIDA to change this narrative by initiating steps that will enhance the ease of doing business in the state.
The governor, who also inaugurated chairman and members of State Civil Service Commission, among others, charged them to tackle the ghost worker syndrome leading to absenteeism and abandonment of duty posts.
It is my earnest expectation that the commission will immediately ensure the recruitment of the best hands to drive the bureaucracy through a very competitive recruitment process devoid of nepotism, favoritism, bias, prejudice, or political considerations.
Responding on behalf of the appointees, the chairman, Governing Council of Delta State University, Abraka, assured the governor to bring their wealth of experience to bear on their jobs.
I believe that for every job anyone is doing here, there are so many people out there who qualify. So if you have appointed a number of us, my understanding is that we should thank God and know that we must work hard to meet your expectation.
These appointees in the days ahead must justify the confidence reposed in them to deliver on the mandate assigned to them. In Asaba, for News Central, Austin Azu.
In Maiduguri, Borno State, northeast Nigeria, women who are positively contributing to community development have been recognized for their hard work. The event, in partnership with Save the Children and other development partners, aimed to inspire women to champion inclusivity and accelerate progress through increased investment in women. News Central's Umahi completes the report.
This event is not just about celebrating the resilience of women in the insurgency-ravaged Borno, but also about recognizing their potential as catalysts for change. Halima Makinta, a traditional birth attendant of over 40 years and still counting, is among women recognized for her service to humanity through support to pregnant women. Throughout the day, women shared their stories of perseverance and determination in the face of adversity.
I want the general public to be encouraging women, recognizing women, encouraging them, and being there for them.
From entrepreneurs to community leaders, each woman exemplified the spirit of resilience that defines the women of Borno State.
The Ministry of Women Affairs, Borno State, in collaboration with Save the Children, is not only looking at the normal achievements of women at the high level, but we are looking at women at the grassroots level, what they have been able to do to advance their opportunities.
Stakeholders echoed the call for increased investment in women, recognizing them as key drivers of progress and inclusivity in Borno State and beyond.
We're working round the clock to see that women are being empowered, women become comfortable and resilient in their ancestral home as returnees, and also to see that the empowerment, livelihood support, the skill acquisition that have been given to them, it's become beneficial to them where they will be going.
By empowering women and ensuring their full participation in all aspects of society, a better future is expected to be the major outcome.
One key thing I will talk about is for the government to invest in education, for especially the education of the girl child, and as well women. Oftentimes we do educate girls, but even women's education, that's the adult women's education, is very, very important.
One message is clear: better future can only be achieved with collective responsibility for peace and development. In Maiduguri for News Central, Umahi Kirawa.
A group known as the Coalition of Plateau Citizens of Conscience for Good Governance and Accountability on Democratic Matters has called on Nigeria's anti-graft agency, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, to commence an immediate investigation of the 8-year administration of the immediate past governor of Plateau State, Simon Lalong. The coalition tasked the anti-graft agency to ensure that allegations of corruption against the former governor, now a senator, are not swept under the carpet, saying that the course of justice must prevail. They highlighted several high-profile but questionable expenditures expected to be investigated by the commission.
The alleged misappropriations of funds such as 1. The 50 billion legacy project, which was abandoned by Lalong administration and currently in court with the contractors. The missing 17 billion naira, which was deducted from civil servants' salaries as payee tax from 2015 to 2023. The missing 400 tractors, which were commissioned by former President Muhammadu Buhari on the 9th of March 2018. The former governor, Lalong, should account for the billions of naira alleged borrowed as loan from bank for the constructions of British America flyover. These and many more are issues that the coalition is rising and thereby drawing the attention of the EFCC to it.
The last may not have been heard about the contentions airport funds allegedly misappropriated by the immediate past government in Abia State. Governor Alex Otti, in a monthly media chat, told journalists and the citizens how ex-governor Okezie Ikpeazu spent the 10 billion naira provided for the Abia airport. However, the former governor, through his spokesperson and former commissioner for information, John Oki Kalu, says the governor was economical with the truth. Kalu said Ikpeazu has consistently maintained a narrative about the airport funds and is ready to answer to the anti-graft agency. Nigeria is an import-dependent nation, yet not a shipping nation despite its huge contribution to global trade. Playing marginally in the industry, it is on record that no fewer than 90% of shipping companies owned by Nigerians have either completely shut down their operations or are barely struggling to survive. With an estimated annual cargo throughput of 150 million metric tons generated, and with freight earnings in excess of $5 billion in her international trade transactions, 95% of this income is earned by foreigners, with jobs deprivation to a lot of Nigerians. The same dominance by foreigners is also extended to the domestic shipping market, where an estimated $3 billion annual marine-related spending in the oil and gas production activities are virtually earned by foreigners.
In the area of manning, before now, we didn't have professionals, we didn't have trained seafarers, we didn't have a lot of them around. Today, even from one strand of the program of Nigeria Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, we have 3,000 qualified seafarers. Okay. Are they all working in Nigeria? The answer is no. Some are working in ocean-going vessels for international shipping companies. Some are working in our own local vessels, trading within our coastal waters. That's one appreciable progress, you know, that the Cabotage Act has recorded. Now, the other one is the issue of ship ownership, whether it's bare boat charter, whether it's full ownership. We've also made appreciable progress. We are not where we were in 2003 when the Cabotage Act was passed. Today, whether anybody likes it or not, a number of Nigerians own platform supply vessels, they own security support vessels, and all the support vessels that we use in coastal trading. We don't own all the vessels, but we've made a lot of progress, and we must acknowledge the fact that we've made progress.
Prime Minister Amadou Ba says 26 Guinean migrants who left from the country died off the coast of Senegal when their boat sank several days ago. Now, according to him, Guinea has officially recorded around 26 deaths so far, with most of the victims leaving from the Matam district of the capital, Conakry. Reports of the shipwreck had appeared on social media in recent days, but authorities had not until now specified a death toll. Relatives of those missing told journalists this week that the vessel had left at the end of April, with the tragedy occurring at the beginning of May. On Friday, Ba spoke of the thousands of young Guineans waiting in various countries to be repatriated after trying to leave the country.
Nous avons enregistré près de 26 morts officiellement pour le moment, suite au naufrage d'un bateau qui était rempli de jeunes compatriotes qui, pour l'essentiel, provenaient d'une même commune, c'est-à-dire la commune de Matam. Nous avons aujourd'hui près de 3000 de nos jeunes qui attendent d'être rapatriés du côté du Niger, 1200 du côté de l'Algérie, 400 du côté de la République arabe d'Égypte, des milliers qui sont dans les camps en Italie, sans compter ceux qui sont aux États-Unis dont je n'ai pas le nombre. C'est une hémorragie pour notre pays.
Hundreds of participants in a Malian national dialogue, mainly boycotted by the opposition, have recommended that military rulers who took power in 2020 keep power for several more years. According to a statement read on state television, they say when elections are eventually held, Junta Chief Colonel Assimi Goita should be a candidate for the presidency. The rapporteur of the steering committee for the consultations, Boubacar Sow, said they recommended extending the transition from 2 to 5 years. They also recommended promoting the candidacy of Colonel Assimi Goita in the next presidential election.
11. Susciter la candidature du colonel Assimi Goita. Susciter la candidature du colonel Assimi Goita à la prochaine élection présidentielle. Élevé au grade de général, le colonel Assimi Goita, ouvrir le dialogue doctrinal 40 avec les groupes armés dits djihadistes et mettre à contribution les érudits maliens pour définir le corpus doctrinal des débats à mener avec ces groupes.
L'objectif assigné à ce dialogue était de diagnostiquer les causes des conflits intracommunautaires et intercommunautaires afin de tracer une architecture de paix durable, recoudre le tissu social et renforcer le vivre ensemble. L'enjeu de ce dialogue intermalien était la préservation de l'unité nationale et de l'intégrité du territoire. J'en suis heureux de constater que les Maliennes et les Maliens l'ont bien compris et se sont appropriés le processus. Sans nul doute, le dialogue intermalien aura tenu toutes ses promesses et c'est avec un immense espoir que nous envisageons désormais la résolution durable de la problématique de paix et de réconciliation dans notre pays sans ingérence extérieure. Pour ma part, j'engage les organes de la transition à prendre les dispositions qui s'imposent pour la mise en œuvre diligente et le suivi des recommandations que vous avez.
In southern Africa, 5 people on Friday died and more than a dozen were injured in a rural South African town when a shop collapsed. According to the Health Ministry, search and rescue operations were continuing at the site in Ngwabo in the Eastern Cape province. Now, the deadly accident was the second in the country this week after the multi-story building under construction came crashing down in the southern city of George on Monday, killing at least 12. Eastern Cape Health Ministry spokesman Mululi Ndamase said 14 people were hospitalized following the Ngwabo incident, which he described as tragic. Several people suffered spinal injuries, head injuries, pelvic fracture, fractured leg, and pelvis. Let's also tell you that South Africa's top court heard an appeal on Friday to have former President Jacob Zuma declared ineligible to stand for parliament, a politically charged legal showdown ahead of the tightest election in decades. Zuma is fronting Mkhonto with Sizwe, a new opposition party that has become a potential disruptor in the May 29th general ballots. But electoral authorities have argued the graft-tainted politician should be barred from the race because of the 2021 contempt of court conviction. The Constitutional Court in Johannesburg was called to decide on the matter after a lower court sided with Zuma in April. Zuma's jailing in 2021 triggered a wave of unrest, riots and looting that left more than 350 people dead. Zuma supporters have threatened violence again this year, should things not go their way. Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Israel can stand alone after the U.S. warned arms shipment could be stopped if he orders a full-scale invasion of Rafah in Gaza. Thousands of people have already fled the southern city after the Israeli military began what it called a limited operation on Monday. U.S. President Joe Biden has repeatedly warned against the operation, saying that it would cross a red line. But Netanyahu dismissed the U.S. warning, saying Israel would fight on. Netanyahu also invoked the war of 1948, where the newly formed state of Israel was attacked by a coalition of Arab states, to dismiss the U.S. warnings. In business, Zimbabwe is currently grappling with a severe drought resulting in a substantial decline in corn production. The latest assessment of the 2023-2024 season's crop reveals a staggering 72% decrease in corn output compared to the previous year. This alarming situation has necessitated the importation of corn to bridge the gap and safeguard food security within the country. As a guest on the Business Edge show, Tremor Mulanga, an economist, provided his insights on the distressing impact of this drought, particularly in southern Africa, with a specific focus on Zimbabwe.
El Nino induced, and it's not affecting Zimbabwe alone. As you have said, it's southern Africa, and as we're speaking, states of disaster, national disaster in 3 economies at least have been declared by respective presidents, which was Zambia first, Malawi, and Zimbabwe. So when you look at in Malawi, they estimate about 1 million people in need of aid, food aid. In Zambia, about 2 million, and Zimbabwe, something beyond 6 million. So when you look at Zimbabwe, the economy remains agrarian. It's based on primary output. It's mainly agriculture, and then mining, as these also feed into the manufacturing industry. So around about 2 million or more metric tons are required for food security, but the harvests for the 2023-2024 season estimated around 600,000 tons, meaning a deficit of more than 1.4 million tons of grain. The main is maize, or corn as you would call it, but there are also shortages of...
And now in the world of sports, the inaugural Jakba Masters Volleyball Tournament 2024 is set to take place in August 2024, with plans now finalized for the exciting event. Genevieve Obuladike, the manager of Jakba Masters Spikers, announced that the tournament will run from the 6th to 10th of August 2024 at the Teslim Balogun Stadium in Surulere, Lagos State. Obuladike emphasized the tournament's goal of fostering high competitiveness among players, refining their techniques, and raising the overall standard of play. Registration from the volley tournament will close on June 30th. The tournament offers a substantial cash prize of 4 million naira for the winners, along with other awards recognizing outstanding performances throughout the event. Nigerian Super Eagles captain Williams Troost Ekong has made a triumphant return to training after a prolonged injury layoff. The defender, who was named player of the tournament at the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations in Cote d'Ivoire, shared a photo of himself back in action on social media, captioning it "Na God," a testament to his gratitude for a successful recovery. Ekong, who plays for FC PAOK of Greece, has been working tirelessly to regain full fitness, and his hard work has paid off. His return to training marks a significant milestone in his journey back to the pitch. The Super Eagles will undoubtedly benefit from Ekong's presence as they prepare for upcoming fixtures, particularly the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers against South Africa and Benin Republic next month. His leadership and experience will be crucial in these crucial marches. With Ekong back in the fold, the Super Eagles will be looking to build on their recent successes and make a strong push for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. And that's all at this hour. But before we go, here's another look at some of our top stories. We told you that Nigeria's Minister of Works wants House of Representatives probe of Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway televised. We also told you that EFCC bans foreign missions from transacting in foreign currency. Finally, you heard that participants in Mali's national dialogue recommend extension of military rule. Send your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number on the screen. Do follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. You can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV, and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I'm Darshan Osman.